Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know what you're doing for me? You're doing a great service to me. For the last 5 weeks, I think we've been in the top 10 or at least close to it. And one of those weeks we were #1. So welcome back. And thank you for that. I really appreciate it. This is You as a Whole, Body, Mind, and Soul on USA Global TV and Radio. And I am Justin MIRIGLIANI, your host, as I am every week on Mondays. And I'm flying solo this Monday. And we're going to be talking about embracing people as they are and how the world is changing and it's becoming a different place. And I've talked to friends about this, and it's been on my mind a lot over the last couple of days, especially. And one of the things I talked to a friend of mine today, and we were talking about proms, the senior and junior prom. And one thing that I'll never understand is that now they don't go as dates anymore. The guys go in one limo and the girls go in another limo, and then they meet each other at the prom, and then they dance, I guess. I don't know what they do at the prom, but I mean, this to me is the new world. And part of me is like, this is insane, and the other part of me is like, didn't they say the same thing about in the 60s about the Beatles? I mean, I'm sure parents were like, this is nuts, this music, this is crazy. And I want to catch myself before I become that, before I start to get into that mode of this isn't right because it's not what it was before. So I'm working on trying to meet people where they are, embrace people where they are, understand where they're coming from. So when my kids do things that I didn't necessarily do, or I wasn't in vogue when I was growing up, and I'm just turned 50, so I try to keep an open mind as much as I can. Now, there are some things I just scratch my head and say, this is crazy. But I think we have lost some of the ability to have human conversation. I think that we text, we chat, we send people Teams messages, we email, we do everything online. And I really do think that there is value in face-to-face conversations. I think there's value in FaceTime if you can't be together. I think there's value in phone calls, hearing people's voices. I teach a class on communication, and one of the things that I teach is that only 7% of your communication are the words that you use. 93% of your communication with another person is your tone, is your cadence, facial expressions, body language, inflection, eye contact. There are so many more pieces to communication than just the words. But when you're texting and you're writing, the words can take on different meaning. And I get mixed up myself with, again, younger people who are maybe half my age, 25 years old, or, they might say something like, alrighty then. Now, alrighty then, when I was growing up, meant it was sarcastic. If I would say to you, I'm headed to this location, you say, alrighty then. That was like making fun. Now, apparently, it really means what it means. It means, all right. So I don't know. I mean, I think that's the problem is it's hard, and it's not just generational. I think it's more to do with the fact that we don't communicate the way we used to, where we used to actually, I don't know, talk to people. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, right? I mean, that's bananas, but um and cultural, as Dr. Jacqueline points out in the chat here, I just saw it pop up. Yeah, different cultures. I do a lot of training overseas. I do a lot of training with people in China, in Singapore, in other countries, in India. And one of the things that I have to stress when I do those classes is that I am to be of service to them. That's my job. I'm training them, but I have to make it clear that I'm serving them. That's what they expect. That's what they want. They're paying the bills. So if they're paying the bills, I'm going to do what they want the way they want it. And that's it. I'm not offended by it. I'm not upset by it. That's their culture. If you're serving them, if they were serving me, if I was over in India or if I was over in Japan or Singapore or anywhere like that, and I went to a restaurant, their belief would be that I'm the customer and they would have to serve me. And it's not a problem. It's a cultural thing. And that's fine. But I make that very clear. And I mentioned that at the beginning of the classes. So I think it's important for us to remember these things as we go along, that some things are going to be different than what we're used to growing up. I don't feel old. I'm 50 years old. I'm not old. I mean, that's one thing that drives me nuts. When friends of mine say, "Oh, we're old, we're old, we're old," that's a bunch of garbage. We're not old. 50 years old is not old. 60 years old is not old. 70-year-old is not old. We got to get out of this mindset of this old business, but especially at 50. Come on, at 50, it's ridiculous. You know, why do you go to the gym so much? Why do you jump rope? Why do you play hockey? Why do you ski? Because I can. That's why. Because they're not throwing dirt on me yet. And I want to take the first comment that came in. We see a comment. So let's say, hey, there's our buddy, Robert Thomas. What's up, big homie? Robert Thomas, what's up? Good to see you. And thank you for always being here every week. I really do appreciate that. I remember those things. Those things stick in my brain. So I remember that. And part of embracing people where they are is remembering the things they do for you and remembering to go back and do the same and reciprocate. I just taught a class a couple of weeks ago, and I wasn't having the greatest of days. It was a tough day, and I've been very open about my life. I mean, I'm in the middle of a divorce. My life is not as stable as I would like it to be, although it's getting much more stable every day. So I feel very good. I mean, my confidence is fine, and my depression is low or non-existent. I feel pretty good. My body's in phenomenal shape. I mean, I'm doing everything the right way. I'm eating right. I'm working out right. I'm getting enough sleep. I'm doing all the things that I need to do. Making money, could always make more, but doing that. As Dr. Jackman says, embracing people can mean believing people when they show you who they are. Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah, because words are important, but what they do is even more important. And that really leads me into the story I was just about to tell, because I was having a conversation with a gentleman at one of the locations where I teach in Philadelphia. And at lunch, it was just the two of us in the room. Everybody else is going out to lunch. And he went out, he bought some food. I bring my food. I sit there and I just eat in the classroom. And when I say classroom, I'm a corporate instructor. So I teach people Microsoft applications like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or soft skills like time management, conflict management, accepting and receiving positive and constructive, there's my website, positive and constructive feedback. My company name is Just For You, JUSTFORYOUTC. And the website is JUSTYOUFOR. I'm sorry, let me try that again. JUSTFORYOUTC.com. That's the website. And the number is 610-324-5545. So you can contact me anytime. And if your company needs training, you need personal training, I can give it to you. I've been training people now this is my 26th year, which I can't believe. And again, I'm 50, so now we finally have hit past half my life. I've been a trainer. So last year it was about half my life. Now it's over half my life. So it's pretty amazing how fast it goes. But I do a ton of training, consultation. I do lunch and learns. I do all kinds of stuff, and it's a business that I didn't expect moving out of college. It wasn't something that was on my radar. It didn't exist. Training existed, but certainly my company didn't exist. And now I look back and it's a 6-figure company and it's growing all the time. And I hope it continues to go and grow. And that's the goal, is to do it. And I don't say that to be self-serving. I'm just saying that because it's my hope. It's the passion that drives me. I want to, when my goal was to hit 6 figures. I hit 6 figures. My goal then became, I want to hit, $250,000 a year. I'm not there yet. I'm going to get there, but I'm not there yet. But let me go back to the story real quick. So the guy's in the room with me as I'm teaching, and he had a couple of egg rolls. He went out and got some egg rolls, and he said, "Hey, you want one?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. I appreciate it." I said, "But I don't want to take your lunch." He said, "Don't worry about it." He said, "Take one." So I had an egg roll. And we just started talking about life, and we talked about the difficulties of life. And I talked about my battle with depression and the divorce and all the things that have hurt me over the years, my surgery and my illness early on in my 20s and 30s. And he was very understanding, and he said he's gone through it himself. He's had struggles, and he knows what it's like. And we really connected on a human level. And at the end of the class, he said, "I want to show you a couple things." And I said, "Sure." And he pulls out his phone, and he's got pictures of himself with the 49ers from the 1980s. So if you remember, those of us who are old enough to remember, that's the Joe Montana, Roger Craig. I was in high school, going into college, mostly high school. Well, grade school into high school, actually. 88, 89, 90, 91. Those are Jerry Rice teams. And he shows me videos of him with the team. He's a super fan. And they actually pay him to come to the games. They put him up in hotels and they bring him to the games. And he goes to 17 football games a year around the country. Around the country. Think about that. Every Sunday, he's in another place. So if they're playing in San Francisco, he's there 8 times a year, or 9, depending on if they have 8 or 9 home games. And if they're away games, they fly him out to wherever they're playing. So if they're playing if he's lucky enough, they play in Philadelphia, he gets to stay home that weekend and go to the game. But in any event, he was showing me pictures of him dancing at Jerry Rice's wedding. I mean, Jerry Rice, we're talking about a legend in football, right? I mean, we're talking about greatness. And pictures of him with Joe Montana. I mean, this was not just bunk. This wasn't somebody telling me stories just to tell me stories and be impressive. And he was, he was talking about my problems. And he said, "Listen, these guys are no different than you." He said, "These guys are you. They have the same hangups. They have the same worries. They have the same doubts. They have the same fears." He goes, "They're no better than you. They're no better than me. They're the same people. They're gifted, or were gifted. They're retired now. Obviously, they're in their 60s and 70s, but they were gifted athletes who won Super Bowls and did amazing things." And he's right. He's right. And I really put that into perspective. And then he proceeds to say to me, "Do you like the 76ers?" And I'm a Philadelphia fan of all the sports teams. And I said, "Yeah, I love the Sixers." And he said, "I want you to go tonight. I want you to go tonight. And I want you to enjoy yourself. I want you to enjoy you." And he sent me the tickets over the phone and sent me to the Sixers game. And unfortunately, I scrambled like crazy to try to find somebody to take the other ticket. But I couldn't get anybody on that short notice. So I went alone. I just walked and I said, "You know what? I'm going to have a good night alone." And I went alone and I sat in the seats and I watched the game. And I thought about him the whole time. And I took pictures and sent him the pictures because I wanted him to know that I used the tickets and that I was thankful for the tickets. And we've talked since. And he has been a guiding light for me. He's older than me. I'm 50. He's probably 60, maybe. So not a whole lot older, maybe 10 years, 12 years. But he's like an older brother type guy. and we talk a lot about different things about life. And this is a guy I met once in person. I mean, we're talking about somebody I met one time in person. And he needed help with getting Flyers tickets, and I'm pretty connected in the NHL, and I got him Flyers tickets, and he's going to go to the game. And then, unbelievably, he said to me, "Hey, listen, you're going to one of those games in San Francisco this year with me. I'm going to fly you out there, and we'll get you a room, and we'll get you out there to watch a San Francisco 49ers game, and you can hang out with the players afterwards and with the alumni." And I mean, one meeting, this all happened. And just one time we just met. And all I did was taught him Microsoft Word. That's it. And that's him meeting me where I was. You know, I wasn't having a good day. I was down that day. I was feeling the pressure. I was feeling the pressure of a kid going into college. I was feeling the pressure of a divorce and the end of that life. And I was feeling the pressure of trying to save a house that my kids grew up in and not having to have them move out. And I was feeling the pressure of not knowing if I was going to make enough money to send both kids to school, let alone the one daughter, who's Alexandra, who's going in August. And not only did he sense it, but he got me to open up and talk about it. And that's embracing somebody where they are. And I can't thank him enough. I won't use his name, but I can't, you know, that's an example of that. And I personally try to be that way as much as I can. I'm not shy. I'll give you another example. And some may disagree, and some may agree, and that's okay. That's up to you. I make this. I said last week, when you make decisions in your life, they're your decisions. Nobody can make the decisions for you. So, being separated, I feel it is totally within my right to meet women and to decide whether I want to go out with that woman or not, or vice versa. If she meets me, and if she was interested in going out with me, I have the right to decide whether I want to take her out or not and see what happens. I mean, do we become friends? That's the possibility. And that's it, nothing more. Do we never see each other again? That's a possibility. That could happen. You can meet somebody and it just doesn't work out, and that's it. I've had dates like that before I was married. Could it lead to a relationship? Sure, it could. Could it lead to a long-term relationship? Yes. Could it lead to another marriage? It's possible. But you can't force any of these things to happen. And a lot of the women that I've talked to, especially women my age, are in the situation where they're not looking for that. They're not looking for a relationship. Some aren't even dating at all. Some are just totally against dating. And I would never, ever, ever try to push that. I would never say to a woman, well, you know, give it a shot. And they tell me about guys who do this, that guys who, you know, say, hey, but what, you know, we could, I'm different and we could work this out and we could, give me a chance. And, man, that's 18-year-old stuff, man. That's kid stuff. You got to accept people where they are. Now, there are women that I'm attracted to that just either A, aren't attracted to me, B, are not looking to date anyone whatsoever, or C, attracted to somebody else. And there's not a thing I can do about it. I can't change it. All I can do is look and see where I can find that person who wants to be with me. And the same thing goes the other way. If there's a woman who's interested in me, but there's just no connection, there's no click, then there's no click. It is what it is. I got to meet them where they are. They got to meet me where I am. And it's when the two people meet each other at the right time, in the right place, in the right set of circumstances, that things are going to either work out or they won't. So rushing things or trying to force things and to make people fall in love with you, or make people, or even if it's a business relationship, you know, not just romantic relationships, business relationships. You know, I for the charity, I'm trying like crazy to get corporate partners. And I always use the word partners because I'm not looking for sponsors. I'm looking for people to partner with. I want my partners to make money on this event. I don't want them to just give me money and support. I want them to get return on investment. But I can't make them make that decision. I have to talk to them and I have to cultivate that relationship and see what happens. And some company will say yes and they will partner with me. And some companies will say no, and more will say no than will say yes. I know that. And it's the same thing with romantic relationships. You're going to get a lot more no's than you get yeses. That's just the way it is. But you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, I'm a hockey player, so I listen to things like that. And Wayne Gretzky said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So take the damn shots and see what happens. And if the puck goes in the net, great. And if the puck goes off the post and bounces to the boards, all right, you're going to be disappointed. And if the puck goes completely wide and misses by a mile, then you know that you just were not even close. So it's okay. It's okay. We're going to take a short commercial break. We're at the 20-minute mark, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk a little bit more about embracing people where they are.
What if one simple skill could change the way you connect with the world? What if listening could open doors to deeper relationships, stronger businesses, and a better you? Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, the Listening Mentor, brings you USA Global TV and Radio, a space where voices are heard, ideas are shared, and global communities thrive. Through the elevated listeners' courses and books, you'll master the power of listening, set boundaries with confidence, and transform conversations into opportunities. Join us. Listen, learn, elevate. Whether you're a leader, a coach, a business owner, or someone seeking stronger connections, your journey starts today. Subscribe, learn, and transform today.
I love that commercial. We have so much to offer you here on this station, and it's growing by leaps and bounds, and it's because of you that it's happening. And we need you. We need to grow. The second half of the show, I want to talk about, and we're not a political station. We're not going to get into politics, but we are going to get into people with differences of opinion. That's a different story. That's not political. Everybody's got their own ideas, and I would never tell people what they should or should not do, who they should or should not vote for. But at the same time, I will not be told, especially on my own Facebook platform, my own page. Now, I would never do anything that would be against this network's policy. I wouldn't do anything that's against the law. I wouldn't do anything that would not be appropriate. But here's what I am saying. Nobody's going to tell me and intimidate me into not speaking my mind when something's wrong. Regardless of what political party it is, or affiliation it is, or group it is, or culture it is, some things are wrong, and they're always wrong. And the way you treat people has to be with respect, with dignity, with honor, everybody. And I'm not just talking about the people who are at the top of the mountain, the CEO, the CFO, the VP, the president of a country, the prime minister of a country. I'm not talking about just those people. I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about the people who mop up the floors too. They're no different. They're no different. You know, I talked about this week about self-made people. People tell me sometimes, oh, isn't it wonderful? I mean, aren't you proud of yourself that you're a self-made man? First of all, I'm not self-made. My parents conceived me. God, through God, in my opinion and my beliefs, through my parents, conceived me. I didn't make myself. My parents nurtured me. My parents fed me. They taught me. My teachers taught me. My coaches coached me. My grandparents, my brother, my sister, my aunts, my uncles, cousins, all these people, nobody's self-made. I don't care if you started with just a shirt on your back. You're not self-made. You're not. And if you believe that, I call it a delusion of grandeur. It's not true. Your customers make you. How do you think I'm a six-figure business? Do you think I'm a six-figure business because I just sit around and wait for people to pay me, and I don't do anything for it, or I just work by myself in my room by myself, and all of a sudden money starts to roll in. No, I need my customers. Without them, the business fails. So no, I didn't make me. I worked, I earned what I have. I'm proud of what I have, but self-made? Come on. You're kidding yourself. You're kidding yourself. Nobody's self-made, no matter what you've done. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how far you've gone, you're not self-made. And that's not a knock. That's the way life is. Somebody had to build the roads for me to drive to the places where I teach. I didn't build those roads, right? Somebody had to build the buildings. Microsoft had to build the programs that I teach. Did I make those programs? The curriculum that I use, somebody made that curriculum. Was it me? Did I create that curriculum? So this idea that we're self-made and this idea of, well, I came from nothing and I'm self-made. No, you're not self-made. You achieved, and that's great. And there's nothing wrong with that. You should be proud of it. You should be proud of it. I'm proud of what I've done. Am I cocky enough to think that I'm self-made? Not in the least. Not at all. And neither should anybody else be. And I have seen this week the ugliness of people who disagree with certain beliefs that I have about how people should be treated, and have lost friends, have lost women who were actually interested in talking and possibly going out on a date or seeing where things would go, who told me that they're no longer interested, that they don't want to talk to me anymore. Friends who are angry at me, friends who think that I'm pie in the sky and not bright enough, and all those things. And you know what? It's not going to stop me. It's not. Because if I think something's right, I'm going to stand up for it. And if I don't think it's right, I'm going to let you know about it. And I'm not going to tell you that you have to agree with me or not. You don't. You can disagree all you want, but you're not going to tell me that I can't believe it. If people disagree with me on even issues that to me are extremely important, and there are some that to me are extremely important. And again, we're not a political station. I'm not going to get into that. But whatever the issue is, there are some issues that to me are extremely important to the point of I would fight to the death for them. But at the same time, friendship comes first. So if I have a friend who absolutely is totally 100% against what I believe, I'm still going to love them. I'm going to still be their friend. And I would still take a bullet for them. And I would still back them up if they needed it. And I would still do whatever they needed if they were in trouble. If they called me at 5 o'clock in the morning and said, I need this or I need that or I'm in trouble, I would still do it. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But sometimes people can't see it the same way. And this week I've seen it. It's ugly. To lose friends. I lost an executive. Obviously, I've been talking about for weeks. If you've been with us for weeks, obviously, if you're new, you don't know about this. But we do my charity, CHECKMATES Charitable Association, which we'll talk about later. We do an NHL hockey game every year. We're going to do one this year. And one of the people who could have really been helpful to me was an executive in the NHL. And I'm not going to use the person's name, and I'm not going to give any clues to who it could possibly be. But when I posted something that I thought was important to post, that I thought mattered, that I thought was an integral part of being who I am, that person blocked me and will no longer support my charity. So you're going to take money away from people who are struggling with ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, or ostomy because you're angry that I don't support something that your person supports. Really? Is that that's who you are? Is that who you want to be? Because I don't. I don't want to be the person. Can I say 10 years ago that I was this clear-headed? No, I can't. I got angry a lot of times, and I said things that I shouldn't have said, and I was offensive sometimes in the way I fought with people. and argued, and it's not the way it works. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to back down now. And hey, look, it hurts to lose stuff like that when you have what looks like something in your pocket that's going to be really helpful and good for you, or a woman that you're starting to become interested in, and she pulls the rug out from under you because you don't prescribe to her exact political agenda. It is painful. And disappointing. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you and say that I like it. I mean, I don't enjoy that. Or a friend who's been a friend for so long who tells you that, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't want. uh, No, I don't like that. I don't like it at all. But is that going to change me? Am I going to let that become uh, a a way that my life is dictated by other people's opinions? No, no, and you shouldn't either. You shouldn't either. There's this idea. I mean, can a staunch conservative and a staunch liberal be friends? Yeah, I think they can if they respect each other. I think they can. Could a staunch liberal and a staunch conservative be in a committed relationship? Yeah, they can, provided that they respect each other, that they treat each other with dignity. If they don't, then that's not going to work. It just can't. The way you treat people is the way that's who you are. That's who you are. So I spent a lot of time by nature. I'm a fighter. I have a fuse, and it served me in some ways and it's hurt me in other ways. In some ways, when I was sick and not doing well in the early 2000s, it served me well because I fought like an animal to try to get back. And I tried to fight for every day, and I did. And then in 2015 with the surgery, fought back. And now, I'm bigger and stronger and faster than I was in my 30s at 50 years old. And, I feel like, I don't feel 50 at all. I feel fine. But at the same time, I do know that in the past, I have offended people because I had an agenda that I allowed myself to let my feelings, my passion, which I'm an extremely passionate person. If anybody knows me, the bottom line with me, and I've said it on the show many times, is that if I'm passionate about something, there's a chance that I'm going to succeed. And there's a really good chance I'm going to succeed. If I'm not passionate about it, the odds are very, very, very high that I'm going to fail. Passion drives everything for me. If I'm passionate about it, I have a chance. I'm not saying I'm always successful, because I'm not, but there's a chance. If I'm not passionate, there's hardly any chance. So sometimes I allowed my passion to get to the point where I didn't embrace people where they were. So when people fought back this week with me, when I made some statements that I thought somebody did that was wrong, and I pointed it out, I said it's wrong, and it will always be wrong, and it's never right. They came back at me, and all I said to them was, I'm not going to fight with you. I respect your opinion. I love you. That's the answer. That's the answer. I'm not going to try to change your mind. I'm not going to try to fight with you. I'm not going to try to do anything that's going to make you feel uncomfortable. But you're not going to change me. I mean, now, does that mean I can't be talked into something if it's common sense, if it makes sense? Sure. I'm open to different ideas and to people telling me something that maybe I didn't consider or didn't make sense to me. But there's certain things that I won't relent on. And there are certain things that just are to me important to stick to. How people treat women to me is important. I have 2 daughters. If my 2 daughters are mistreated, I'm going to be angry. And I'm going to get law enforcement involved if I have to. And I will press charges. Or if I catch them, I will do what's the father would need to do without getting into detail, because that's important. And that's not just for my two daughters, that's for all women. If I saw a woman on the street being taken advantage of, I wouldn't stand for that. I wouldn't watch that. It's something, and for guys to say things like, well, that's just guy talk, or boys will be boys, and that's the way it is. That's a bunch of crap. It's a bunch of crap. I wasn't like that growing up. I wasn't like that. Oh, he's only 18, so he doesn't know any better. No, that's not an excuse. Yeah, he's only 25. He's a young guy. He's a young buck. He's just sowing his wild oats. It's crap. It's crap. I don't care if you're 18, 25, 50. It doesn't matter what you are. You be 75. You don't get a free pass because of your age. It's not a get out of jail free card. Just like the Army, I'm so sick and tired. And look, my father was in Vietnam. I have total respect for him. My father, I respect him more than any man on the planet. My grandfather was a World War II hero. I respect him almost as much as I respect my father. They're neck and neck. And they both fought for this country. I'm proud of them. But because you were in the service does not mean it's a get out of jail free card. I was talking to a friend earlier this week, and she was telling me about her ex-boyfriend and how she has to treat him better, even though he's been horrible to her, abusive, mentally, physically, abusive to children. And she said, well, yeah, but he served the country. Really? So that means that we have to overlook the horrible behavior of a person because they went to war. That's a bunch of BS. You don't get a pass because you did a good thing. You do good things because you're supposed to do good things, not so that you can then say, well, I've already done my time. I've already done what I was supposed to do. So therefore it's a free pass to go and do whatever I want. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Timothy McVeigh served in Iraq. Are we going to put him on a pedestal? Are we going to raise a statue to him? He blew up children. He killed them, murdered them. People in that building died. Moms and dads were lost. Kids. It was a daycare center in the bottom of that building. But he served in Iraq. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's incongruent. How you treat people matters. And part of that is embracing them and meeting them where they are. Again, if a woman says to me, I'm not interested in going out, I'm not interested in dating, I'm not interested in you personally, I'm not going to take offense to it. I'm not going to ask them out. That I'm embracing where they are. If that's where they are, that's where they are. And I'm not going to try to change that. If a business partner or another company, if I try to sell my training and they say, look, we just don't want your training. Then you don't want my training. I'm not going to beg you. I have too much respect for myself, too much of my own personal, I don't know if you call it ego or not, but it's self-respect to beg anybody for anything. I'm not going to beg you for anything. I'll ask. I'll try to be persuasive if I can. But at the end of the day, the decision's yours. I tell my students all the time, I don't tell you what to do. I give you options, and then you decide what you're going to do with those options. And the same thing with my kids. I mean, I tell my 13-year-old what to do sometimes because she's 13 and she needs parenting. But my 18-year-old, I don't tell her what to do or how to do it. I give her advice, and she's going to either follow it or she's not. I can't make her do anything. She's an adult. I don't particularly love that fact. I would like to be able to still have my hands on the reins, but I don't. And I have to accept that. But there's no excuse for bullying people. There's no excuse for treating people poorly. There's no excuse for you ganging up on people or attacking them, no matter what it is. You could disagree with them. You could argue with them. You could even have an loud argument if you want to. But to attack people, to belittle them, to try to shame them, that's shame on you. That's not shame on them. That's shame on you. So I hope you think about that as you go through. And yeah, have I taken a couple smacks in the face this week? Yeah, I have. And am I upset about it? Not upset. Disappointed? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I thought people were better than that. And I was hoping they were. But people in high positions that you would expect would be able to overlook certain things, just don't have the capacity to do it. Don't let that be you. Be better than that. So as we end the show, we're going to just show the video of what's coming up in August 23rd. Now, this is something that I really believe in, because I'm an ostomy patient and I know what it's like. I know what it is to go through ulcerative colitis. I know what it is to go through ostomy surgery and the uncertainty. So August 23rd, 2025, we are going to have an NHL celebrity hockey game. Mark Orecki coming down. Brian Propp he lives in the area still, will play. We're hoping for Rod Brindamore, if we can get Rod Brindamore to come out. Kevin Dineen is a possibility. I've spoken to him. There are a few more players. I talked to Riley Cote this week. So we're going to have that. And let's watch this little video of the past event, and then we'll finish up with the show.
I just want to tell you how thankful I am that you came out tonight and helped us out on a very special evening. Crohn's and colitis are terrible diseases, and they affect a lot of people, not only in the Delaware Valley, but all over the world. And hopefully we can find a cure someday.
Nolan here with you at the CHECKMATES versus the Flyers alumni. We had a great time this afternoon. Game was close, and we're all here for CHECKMATES Charities, which is the real reason that everybody's here, not only the players, but all the fans that were here. It was a great day, and we're really happy to be here.
It was fun to be out here at Northeast Skate Zone because the Czechos were a pretty good team, and so we had a lot of fun with the charity.
And it was good because they took it easy on us old guys. So we had a good time. So anytime you can do something for charity, and I know a couple guys on the other team, and just to be on the rink, we all go have fun.
Good times go. I'm either gone in an instant or here to the bitter, and I never know what I got.
I want to thank my family for all that they did to help me get through this, and there's a lot of planning that get done. It has to get done. I want to thank Nick's Roast Beef and Common Avenue for all they've done. Dr. Prieto for saving my life and finding the disease and treating me for so long. And the Flyers organization for all they do to help us raise money every year. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Baby, I'm ready to go. We're going to get this thing going in August 23rd, 2025. 2-hour open bar after the game. 2-hour open bar. Full buffet with the players. Autographs galore. Our website is www.checkmatescharity.com, where you can go and you can buy your tickets. The game ticket is $25. The add-on for dinner is the full price would be $70. $70 will get you the game and the buffet. 2-hour open bar. I highlighted that because that's a biggie. But look at the players that we definitely going to have Mark Recchi. I talked to him this week. As long as nothing changes in his schedule, he's there. Brian Propson, Rod Brindamore, Kevin Deneen, we're still working on them. Chris Terrian's in, Doug Cross was in, Todd Fedoric, and now we just added Riley Cote, so I have to update the website. But Bernie Perrot's going to show up. Joe Conklin's going to do a 10-minute comedy skit, stand-up comedy skit for us. Ralph Venershka, the kicker in the NFL, who kicked with a bag for years, 8 years with the bag. NFL Man of the Year is going to be there. Kerry Frazier, longtime NHL referee, incredible man, and a good friend, and somebody who should be in the NHL Hall of Fame. Ed Bernstein lost his daughter to Crohn's disease, and Ed has become a friend of mine. He graduated law school with my father and then went on to become the greatest lawyer in the history of Nevada. And he has the longest talk show in Nevada history. So we're talking about a man of incredible stature who's going to be there. So come out. And here's the deal. We can fill that rink with 1,000 people. I want 1,000 people in that rink if we can. Get 1,000 hugs there, and then 750 hugs in the restaurant, because we can fit 750 in the restaurant. So please, please, please come out and help us. I already have people who want to come out and volunteer. We're running out of jobs. We're actually already running out of volunteer jobs. So it's getting to the point where the only way you'll be able to come is to buy a ticket. $70, come on. That's not much money to help out people and to get an open bar for 2 hours and a buffet with NHL hockey players and other celebrities. Where are you going to get that value? It's undervalued. Next time, the price is going to have to go up. So take advantage of it this year. All right. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Remember, treat people the way you want to be treated. If you don't, you're the one making the mistake. Be better than that. All right. We'll see you next Monday. Enjoy the rest of your week.
In a world full of noise, misunderstandings, and interruptions, master the art of listening with Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck is the listening mentor of USA Global TV and Radio, and the Amazon #1 best-selling author of Mastering the Power of Elevated Listening. Elevate your listening. Elevate your life. Join a global learning experience in person or via Zoom. Reserve your spot today. usaglobaltv.com/book-your-session or drjacqueline.thinkific.com. Join Dr. Kerbeck's listening courses or hire her to unlock deeper connections and authentic conversations. Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honored to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.